Hey! Hey! How are you here doing? Welcome, my name is eluukkanen, aka Eluukkanen, and I'm that fellow from Finland, if you knew. Only if you knew. The thing is, we're going to be today doing some creation. Yes, indeed. That's how I say it. Creation. Basically, today we're going to be just making some work for a game that we are doing. Yes, indeed. I'm mixing my words. Of course, I'm a music person mainly, but yes, we're going to be doing some lovely time, which is of course, doing some work for this game that I've been doing some for a while. Hopefully you're going to be joining us here on this session with us to see how it is made. Indeed. And of course, I forgot to actually put it in here, but let me just do it. So, NPC opinion. Hopefully I wrote it well. Today we're listening Final Fantasy X soundtrack while we are at it, of course. You know, we are in this sort of breaking point of the fact that I've been working on this NPC system for a while, and I've been, of course, doing this huge sort of like a way of saying that, no, Final Fallacy is a very excellent game because, of course, there's an NPCs that think about your, like, they actually consider your actions and they actually look at you and say, hey, those player characters, they are nasty, and then they don't want to work with them and that sort of stuff. Yes, actually that is reality. Indeed. How is this even possible? Well, I tell you, it's with the modern technology. Well, not really modern technology, of course, game is always a simulation, but I think I've actually figured it out how to do it, and we're going to be showing you how it is made in here in Final Fallacy stream. Hopefully you're intending to join us to see how that is made. I know, I haven't been doing much of other content recently. But I tell you, I'm just going to be doing a major push for this, because I tell you, this is going to be a huge thing when it comes out. Naruto! Kirby! Mr. George knows, how's it doing? Yes, actually going very nicely. Thank you for asking, indeed. Worked on some Final Fantasy today, and I was able to make some systems on it. But now we're going to be actually looking at the NPC opinion more on this very live stream. I'm going to be checking how that works in our test rooms and, of course, in the actual game. So welcome to join us, Mr. Kirby. How's your day going? Of course, let me know while you're at it. And well, while you're at it, press the like button. That would actually be a very helpful thing if you wish that to do. Of course, it is all up to you, because I cannot control your mouse, I cannot control your mind, so you are responsible. Now, let's go forward. Basically, that's what we're doing today. Hopefully you're going to be interested to see how that is going to shape and take place, indeed. Let's get going, shall we? Yes, I tell you, I was just swimming in a lake on today, and working on some game, and such a very relaxing day. I want to go back to the city very soon, that's my plan, and of course doing as many things in the city as you can. I want to eat in a buffet. I don't know, like other countries, they have these sort of like lockdowns and such, but in Finland, we actually have it open up, and we can even have buffets. Buffets. So I'm very much excited on that. Buffets. And, you know, is that the main reason? But it's going all good. Very, very good. Good to hear. Good to hear. And my day is excellent to have you here as well. I haven't been seeing you here for a while. Of course, you might have watched my content, but of course, I cannot know all the time when people watch and when people don't. That's the thing. It's a very, very, very much a thing that, you know, it's lovely to hear when people comment and say hello, because then I can say, hey, that was the Mr. George Knows, the Naruto Kirby guy, who has a lot of knowledge on these things, like Naruto, Kirby, and of course Spyro. I think you mentioned that some time ago. You know, told us a lot of information about especially Kirby and such. Very, very lovely indeed. I do remember these people like you, and I have to really say it's a pleasure always seeing it. Now, let's continue our progress here, and let's not just stop on our tracks, because of course it is going to be Final Fallacy devlog number 5. Indeed. So hopefully interested to see where that leads us. Who knows? It might even lead to some new revelation. Yes, NPCs are real people. Who knows? Who knows? Anyhow, I think we're ready almost to let's get going. Yes, indeed. So we're gonna be starting, and let's get moving, shall we? Here we go. Here we go. So yes, hard work always. That's what we're doing. Hard work, of course, gives the great returns. Otherwise, if you don't do hard work, like why are you even living? Because this life is just for trying to achieve bigger things. At least, you know, for me, of course, there can be many ways to go in life, but indeed, this is one of the ways I personally do it. Now, one of the things I'm going to be doing here is just pressing like this, and now opening the screen for you so you can see some things. And I tell you, it's still work in progress, so keep it in mind. But you know, considering some things, I think, you know, actually going to be interesting session for you, hopefully. Let me actually also share this in a possible Reddit as well. There can be some Redditors coming on here. Indeed. Yes, I actually watched that trailer. I was I'm very happy. I think we're going to be seeing Spyros and all these sort of things in there. Yeah. I'm very happy for that, my friend. Very happy indeed. We need that. We definitely need some new games, and I'm actually interested to see how that goes. Of course, you know, I'm not the Crash Bandicoot, the biggest fandom for it, but I happen to know the game, and if it goes for PlayStation 5, I suppose I'm not really much I have to tell you. One of the things I'm not going to possibly perhaps purchase PlayStation 5, because I am not just into PlayStation anymore too much. I was very sad because of the PlayStation 4 generation, indeed. Hello, Aiko! Aiko! How are you doing, man? Good. Oh, actually, woman, yes. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yes, indeed, today is a day. A very special little day of continuing forward with a whole new thinking. And today is we're going to be actually doing some thinking on NPC side of things. Yeah, that was for Reddit, and let me just put some random words I just spit out on my mouth, from my mouth, like, oh boy, here we go, new devlogs, everyone get excited, yeah, that sort of fashion. Now, let's actually continue on putting, this is basically the training room we have, and these are the systems we're going to be implementing later on other things. How are you doing, Aiko? Pleasure to have you here. If you enjoyed the stream, I recommend you press the like button. That always makes my day happy, of course, you know, perhaps hopefully yours as well, who knows. Now let's get going. So idea is here, we have NPC opinion. Let me just name this so everybody gets it. NPC opinion. And the idea is that basically we have here this sort of like valuation, and it all comes to numbers, you know, and it basically goes that, you know, if NPC sees you, it's like, hey, you have good quality weapons on you and that sort of stuff, and then they give like a good praise for you and that sort of faction. No RPG game actually does this, so I'm very happy to actually implement this in the game. Indeed, Final Fantasy does many things other RPGs don't even dare to try out. So we're gonna be showing you this test room I've actually made, and it looks confusing visually, but I tell you, there's a lot of information here, a lot of good systems, I think, that I've built on here. Hair become darker today after work. I felt a little dizzy, but it's, I think, normal wearing masks or breathing CO2 heat. I tell you, I wouldn't, if I were you, of course, I'm not a health professional, I wouldn't wear those masks, because I've actually seen some new evidence that actually people have gotten, basically, like, because I saw this video of a medical person testing out with like a breath meter, like an oxygen meter, inside of the mask and outside of the, you know, if without the mask, and see how much people actually get oxygen. And it's a dangerously low levels you get with a face mask, I tell you. So I do recommend not wearing those, at least on my opinion, because it actually does not, well, it prevents you from actually spreading from yourself, but, you know, it doesn't protect you. And at the same time, it actually creates this sort of area for bacteria and other sort of sicknesses to infest in your in that linen. Indeed, it's not very good. Yeah, I know you told me, but that's for the principles. Yeah, I still think if principles is going to kill you, it's not very good. But of course, up to you. Yes, I wouldn't want to see that.
You told me that.
Yes, and of course, no need to follow my advice, but at least that's what I would do myself, because I tell you, we have new evidence showing up that it is not healthy at all, indeed. Now, let's actually open this whole game. It's actually closed because, I don't know, it's taking millions of years, I suppose. You know, that's my computer, I suppose. Potato of the potatoes, indeed. Now, so we have this testing room here. Oh, do we? Yes, we do. So basically, we press him. He's the NPC that gives us the numbers. Oh, yeah. And we go here and see what the number valuation is. Final Fantasy does have really good. Well, this is a bit different from Final Fantasy. It's a final, if you mean, but music, I have to agree. But I tell you, this is going to be quite different. So, actual value. What does these values mean? Basically, these are the scientific proven way of showing how valuable you are in the RPG world. Basically, looking all of your stats. Let me actually go to stats screen. It's not yet ready fully yet, but you know, looking at this, we have strength, resistance, intelligence, spirituality, agility, character, level, max HP, SP, all this stuff, and it counts them. And all of those things basically are character traits. You can increase them by, you know, of course, getting better in the game, and of course having clothing and such. And that's what it counts in here, this testing map in area. Actual value 52 is basically it. And NPC value is 182, which is quite a big number, and I think it's because of the fact that there's some other values here which are, it's going to make the person very much disappointed, as you can see. I tried to wear a visor once when the lockdown was over, but it was too hot and gave up. That's why so cool my pupils and the parents allow me to remove the mask. Very, very good. Very, very good, because that's how we humans are made to be, indeed. It's very sad that we have to currently live in this situation, and I tell you, I think people that make this sort of condition happening, I think should be held responsible. Now, let's see. So, stranger seems to be disappointed. That's what the number basically does. So it actually makes you, if you have good numbers, they like you and not, and this is going to affect a lot of the discussion system and very much NPC opinion, which is of course the topic of today. So we go here, it basically counts every single thing here, and I'm going to test it out with just a few numbers here. Let me actually put it like this, indeed. So let me just destroy these all like that. I'm going to be testing the HP just like that and see how the HP itself kind of does its value, indeed. Indeed, so hopefully interested to see that. Of course, HP is HP, hit points. If you lose them, basically you're dead, and that's not very good. Now, let me press here, and let's go in here. Oh, what is this? Actual value is only 15, and NPC value is like, no, that's too much, though. I think it should only kind of value the HP thing. We just take these other offs, because these basically mean, does it value other things? Indeed. Let me put them in here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. If it's, you know, game terms, I think face mask actually does not really protect you from like status elements and such. Huge green ground. Oh boy, yes indeed. The testing rooms usually have that. Not much details, but only for the technical side of things. Indeed, it's a green fields of technicality, I suppose, if you could call them anything. I suppose that is a good word for them. Yeah, indeed. Another place that you can actually find in the game world. That's for sure, I tell you. Now let's open up and see how this looks, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed. Indeed so. Have you been enjoying your time today, Aiko? Hopefully yes, indeed. My problem over here is eluukkanen. I'm actually going to be doing some big changes here. I'm going to be discussing about them later. Hopefully we actually will see if people you know, like them or not. Let's see. So we actually go here on the NPC, we get the data, and then we go in the upper section, and so the NPC value is actually less because he has less HP. That's the thing. Stranger is impressed because he has bigger numbers. That's the thing. Of course, you know, there's other factors. There's a lot of actually quite complicated factors in there. You know, is the character, you know, what's the reputation, what's the personality. Actually, the personality thing I haven't yet added in there, because that actually gives a percentage bonus on there. We could actually do it today. We shall see about that. But now let's go to the outside of the whole thing. So basically here we go. We have the basic person on here waiting to be given all the information. How is your feeling from COVID? Well, actually, I'm mixed on the COVID thing. I think people actually, I recommend if you want to watch some things on that, I recommend actually not about COVID, but I think something that is very close to it. I recommend you to Google or search active denial technology. That was actually a very interesting sort of fact that I was able to just recently find out. But, other news, I tell you, I'm very positive. I think things are going easier here in Finland, and I'm very happy on that. But yes, I recommend actually search that term yourself. Actually, you can search it if you want to, but I think it's actually very interesting sort of news over there. I recommend you check out. Now, let's now see what this whole thing is about in here. Indeed. We're listening to some sad music in the background, and of course we're going to be checking out how do the calculations work. And I tell you, you can see these. If you want to use them yourself, I suppose you can. I tell you, it's going to take some time if you want to copy some of my work, because it's a hugely I think goes to complications. I tell you, it's for the reasons, because I want RPGs to actually feel real, and I think this simulates that. Now, let's go to, yes, we have the HP number, and it actually stores it, which is very good. Now, one of the things I'm actually going to be doing here, when you have the evaluations going on, I'm actually going to be doing that. Basically, the variable actually goes back from the number that we stored from here, because these are, of course, from the individual creatures that we have over here. Now, let's have it in here. Hey, how are you feeling as well? Good. Let me know, what are your thoughts?
Even it felt dodgy at the beginning of the evening, but all right.
Good. My paintings are drying, and that's way to go. Shout out to Parrot. How are you doing? Welcome to eluukkanen chatty section over here in the land of Finland. Yeah. I actually went to swimming. I saw a pair of birds, kind of these swimming birds, and they had like these small little birds, so they may have like chicklings, I suppose. Very, very cute sort of sight in the nature. Now, I'll tell you one of the things. How are you doing, Shadow the Parrot? Indeed. How are you today? Bonsoir. Indeed. Good evening to you, my friend. Now, we're going to be doing some work for my favorite game, of course. Hopefully your favorite game as well. Final Fallacy. And why is that? Well, this game is going to be quite something that you haven't seen before. And I've actually said that millions of times. But I tell you, it's true. I'm going to do the swim on Sunday. We're very good. Must be very warm there. I tell you, it has been raining here just recently. And the water has been very cold because of that, but still, it was swimmable. Of course, not that long period. I think it's like I don't know how the Celsius were, but it was a bit colder than last time, because basically last week we had like 30 Celsius and now it's 14 Celsius. I'm kind of happy, but at the same time, oh boy, the lake. Like you. Very, very good. That is very, very good. Congratulations. Congratulations. Now, let's go and see. So basically, this is the number we have here, 161. Let's put also here 170, because this is the level. Level actually affects on many things, indeed, even the battle values. Indeed, birds are my favorite animals. I tell you that birds are, very, very lovely creatures. And I actually remember my grandfather used to tell us this story that he actually saved. Was it raven? Yes, a raven. When it was a young, and then actually in the age when it was like old, it actually came and thanked my grandfather. So I suppose they're actually intelligent, at least some of them. Beautiful indeed they are. Cat lover. Actually, cats are not really bird lovers, I tell you that much. Yeah. So keep your cat in leash if you see some birds, because I tell you that cat is going to just be a murder machine near those. Now let's go and put on some variables here. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I was swimming myself today. It was a fun canoe, having fun. Oh, it's like the summer. That feels like summer. All of this work related, though. We were inspecting the site. We are going to work and plan for things. Oh, what is this site you are talking about? Is it the government secret plan? Who knows? Of course, top secret. Of course. I tell you, myself, I personally am not really into these things. Who knows what the projects you have on there? Who knows? But now I'm going to be telling you one thing, my friend, is that. You live in the coast, Shadow? Yes, I think Norway is mostly coast, if I remember right. Mountains and coast. It's a very thin country, of course, with huge mountains, which I'm very, of course, sad that Finland doesn't have those. You know, we actually have this place that is basically like scissor mountains here where I live. Scissor mountains, and it's like not like a mountain at all. It's like just a little smaller bump, and it's like, Finnish people, they call that a mountain. Yeah, that's the thing. Now, let's go here and put some information, you know, of course, small information that we always put in here, but, you know, that's what we do, Now, I just noticed, I think I did a mistake, let me see. So, basically, we have 100 and say, let me just go to the numbers here, everything. Now, 3, so like, and okay, so I didn't do a mistake. Very good. Let's take this from here and put it in here. Indeed. Have any one of you played Final Fantasy 10? By the way, it's actually a pretty cool game. I want to play it at one point. If nobody here, it will be, because I tell you, it's a beautiful story. I tell you, you're missing out if you like. I tell you, it's actually very good for like non-gamer people, I suppose. If you don't know much about RPGs, I think Final Fantasy X is actually a pretty interesting story in there. Speaking of swimming, I believe that I really need to work out, not to lose weight, because I'm naturally thin, but just keep myself healthy. I think there's actually this, my brother, usually I don't really care about mobile apps, but actually my brother showed this mobile app that actually looked very good on that. I'm actually going to be trying out after summer, but I'm not going to be working out in summer, because summer is relaxation moments, indeed. You have to have those, don't you? Yeah, of course you have to. Otherwise, everything's going to be just stressful and not fun. And of course, fun is going to be very much needed on like this moment for me is kind of like a battery recharging for the rest of autumn and such. I need those batteries recharge, and I think you will also as well. It's a very sad moment that, of course, summer is going away, withering slowly, but you know, that's how life goes. And, of course, I need to be working as well hard on this game, and that's what I'm doing, indeed. I'm really interested to see the journey going forward. No, I never played Final Fantasy game, lol. You haven't? Oh, boy. Oh, boy, you're missing much, I tell you. Of course, it's kind of a different sort of type of game. Of course, I've never played Kirby, to be honest, because I'm not like a Nintendo person yet. I need to find the motivation. Some people hate sport. I'm part of them. I think it's because of the school education we all got. I tell you, my friend, I had the worst sport lessons when I was younger, but later on I just decided to kind of grind it, because I wanted to, of course, get prepared when I went to army. And I tell you, it actually is fun. It actually is fun to test out your skills wherever you are in like life. Like if you have like the worst moments on your like if you are jogging and such, you can still go and have an enjoyment moment. I think it's I only played a bit of Final Fantasy at my ex-girlfriend's plays. What is ex-girlfriend? That's like a special girlfriend. I'm also part of them who hates sport. I love having sport on my own terms. Indeed, own terms is the best. You have to be your own motivation machine, I tell you. Motivation machine number 1 is you. Nobody else, I tell you, man. Now, one of the things I'm going to be actually here putting some number work and basically like testing out. Basically what I'm doing here, let me actually do some telling. Basically, I'm putting these that every single event, which is like the thing that we have here, all the characters, they basically store all the information within themselves, and it actually helps me to be able to do like millions of different NPCs, of course. That's why I'm building this, like not many games do it like this. Many NPCs in many games, like they have just like one message, and that's like pre-written and it never like stops repeating itself. And that's not what we have here. I think like our NPC system is like top notch. If we have to like really compare these, it's like you know Gucci sort of like I think that's like a clothing kind of brand, but it's like a clothing brand of Gucci like in RPG world. I think this has not been yet tried before. I think at least hopefully interested to see how people react to it. I'm going to be next stream probably going to be doing some YouTuber hunting on there. But now, sports. Oh boy, sport is something I used to hate a lot. So I can get why you say that, Ico and Parrot, I tell you. Ah, I live in the coast. I live in the city called Bergen. Indeed. Bergen. And you have those mountains. We don't have the mountains. And you can just like sing all the time. Far older than misty mountains. Well, actually, you don't sing that. I think you sing some kind of like a Norwegian songs. I don't actually know much Norwegian songs, to be honest. And you know, all the Norwegian-esque music is not really not made by Norwegian people, so I think, you know, I don't know too much. But I played every Spyro game and almost Mario and Kirby game. Indeed, I know that you have knowledge on those. Of course, it's a very different game, I think, tell you, Final Fantasy XII. But I think it's good to test out different... Love that songs. Oh yeah, oh boy, there's a... This game has the best soundtrack, I tell you, one of the best. Actually, my favorite song. Let me actually try to find the soundtrack on here. Oh no, it's not this. It is in here. If I don't know, Off-Road Dreams, let me see. Let's go to Beside Island sort of feel. I think actually, yeah, this is going to be the one. Oh yeah. Let's listen to this. Oh boy. A team anti-sport. No, sport is good, but you know the sport teachers made us to hate that. I tell you, sport is actually very fun when you find the right people to do it with. I tell you, man, I tell you, you have to find the like friends and such, or actually you have to have a lot of motivation, which I can have. But I tell you, it's much easier with the friends. You know, right? Kind of testing yourself. Actually. Like one of the things like you can say like, hey, let's go jogging. This sort of like a fun pastime. Edvard Grieg was the Norwegian one, the greatest artist in the known history. That's what they say. Is that the guy who made like if I make it like actually I might be. If you have heard his songs, I think I have, if I remember right. Yes, indeed. But of modern kind of composer person, I think like the Two Step from Hell, like they are from Norway, I think. This sort of like computer-made epic music, I suppose, film-esque epic music, I suppose. I remember when I was young, everybody's like, oh, Two Steps from Hell, oh, the best music ever. And I was like, not perhaps my taste, but I can understand why people like it now. Oh my, you have blue eyes! No, not blue eyes. I think it's a reflection. I think it's green, if I'm right. I don't want to do face scanning because I know those goddamn people are going to be getting my faces, and I don't want to have that. Now, one of the things I'm going to be doing here on putting these numbers in, I think this is enough right now, at least. So the idea is that we basically, this is the old thing we're going to be working here. We have like how much wealth the person has and such, and how does it affect the game. And that's the thing, there are two outcomes in this equation. Either he's impressed or not, and these numbers are going to be determining that. Indeed, determining it and making sure we will see what happens. I tell you, we need a game that actually is like NSA, just looking at you all the time and like, oh boy.
Blue and green eyes are the best.
I tell you, green eyes, I love those. And of course, I cannot really change my eye color. And I'm very happy on that because, you know, I'm satisfied with what I have now. One of the things I'm very not satisfied with is my pace in this working here. So let me actually go. So basically, we have the numbers like here, and oh boy, look at him. Actor value, and for some reason I don't know why that is. I think it's because of the fact that why is that, by the way? That's weird. That is weird. So let me actually go and see what that is.
Shadow.
I think there's a problem. You can actually change it
Actually
through
change it
diets.
through diets.
Oh, really? I don't think so. I think it's a genetic thing. Do you talk about your physique? I think that's what you can use diets for. Indeed, nothing else too much on that side of things. Now, hey. Yes, basically, I'm gonna be doing here and putting. Oh, let's see. Yeah, there was some mistakes on here. I think it's because of the only like evaluating the HP, which is not only what I want to have on here. Indeed, one with very dark brown eyes. Seriously, Shadow? Oh, I don't really think so, Shadow. I think you're misinformed. I think it's a genetic thing.
You can't change drastically.
Of course, you know, health affects eyes, but it's not like oh, next day I'm red eyes, and next day I'm like orange eyes, and next day, you know, you can't really do that.
Shadow
You can't really do that, my friend. I think, yes, indeed.
The eye color slowly changes.
I think there's something weird in this. I think I've made a mistake because it shouldn't be minus. That's the thing. It shouldn't be minus. Something's weird going on. I think we're gonna be, you know, either fixing it with like a lazy fix or just actually okay fixing it. Actually, let me see. The minus number shouldn't be there. I tell you that much.
Give me the recipes and tips, Shadow. I want blue eyes face with tears of joy.
Yeah, change your eye color with this one-time recipe. Indeed, that's got to be something. Now, let me actually do this sort of interesting thing, which is, of course, we have the calculation number. And, of course, if I'm a lazy person, I'm going to be just like doing multiply it by 1, minus 1. And then basically comes positive again. So, you know, that's a way to do it. I'm a lazy, so that's how we work now.
I doubt that is possible.
I doubt that is possible, yeah. Oh boy, the best recipes. I actually tell you, most of our health actually doesn't come from exercising. It comes from what we eat. That's the saying, like what we eat, what we are. That's the thing. We played Smash Bros. The crossover characters. Mario, Kirby, believe Final Fantasy characters as well. Link from Zelda. I haven't actually ever played a Smash Bros. Because I tell you, I'm not a Nintendo person. It isn't a huge amount. I can understand that, but still, health is something that we can affect on few things that we have. And one of the things is, of course, our diet. And I tell you, we have a lot of toxic things in our food, even nowadays. That's why I really want to away from the GMO things, and of course the genetic, and of course all the like. Additional thing that shouldn't be there, sort of. I'm personally not very much like this sort of health expert, yay, taking selfies all the time. No, but I still tell you, what we eat is very important. Now let's actually go and see how we have here. Now we're back to the plus side of things. That's thank God. Now, thing is, it seems to be disappointed, and that's very true. But the problem is, my friend, that, you know, we don't have much of the reputation. It's basically, you know, calculates the reputation we have, which is not yet something I think we have to really think of. I think the big thing we're going to be actually doing is the personality, which I haven't actually yet added here. I have like things that we actually calculate currently are HP, MP, as strength, resistance, intelligence, spiritualism, agility, charisma, reputation, how much are you loved or feared. Indeed, those affect. And basically, how do you get those things? Well, according to your actions, of course. Like in real life, if you are a very nasty piece of shit, of course you aren't not going to be respected. But if you are like the most monstrous person, you're going to be feared. Some people are actually affected more by certain things. Some NPCs value different sort of things. That's the thing. That's how basically the math works behind that. Now, we're going to be doing the personalities. I'm actually trying to find the personality tabs in here, if I have them sort of closer. I think I have them here somewhere. Let me see. Personalities, indeed. It's like it's kind of another test rooms we have. Indeed, we can have all of the numbers here, and we can control everything. Indeed, these are the different sort of like the personalities in the game, and they basically. Oh yeah, these are some things I haven't yet put here fully, but you know, let them be just there, I suppose. yeah, how NPCs react and such. But now we're gonna be doing the personality type of this, and actually gonna be doing it to work basically. Certain things work differently on certain other things indeed. So we actually put this one up because this is the most important information we have. Like this. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. So basically, these are the 5 personalities. They are based on Chinese science mumbo jumbo. But basically, this is the fantasy world. So those are reality in here, indeed. Reality. But of course, you know, it's actually an interesting system. I have nothing against that. But, you know, it's a kind of like a... I suppose people want to understand personalities even in the old times, and they thought elements govern everything. Elements like water, fire, earth, metal, and wood. So we're going to be actually calculating how those affect each other. I think I'm going to be actually doing here, seeing how that is. Let me actually create some new number of values here. Indeed new. Mr. George, I really hope that they come from Spyro, Crash, and Smash Bros. They have even Capcom, Sega characters like Sonic, those games. I think Nintendo and Sony are just so much in their throats, and I think they are not going to do that. I think like Capcom is not like their rival in a sense, like in Pokemon rival sense. So I think that's not going to happen, at least in a long while. PlayStation All-Stars used to be something that could be, but now PlayStation doesn't have many mascots anymore as they used, and which I'm kind of sad about, though. Yes. So I think character creation, you know, all these things. Where can we find answer and food? I think we're gonna be using these. You know, actually these work. So we're gonna be using these to determine how differently they think of you. Basically, of course, we have to find out what element you are. Where can I find that information? I think it was in the language section, indeed. Language, and there are like different states for different sort of things. So let me actually do here. So we have the word over here. We're gonna be just pasting this on here, and let me just put some information text. I don't know how actually do you think of this, but basically let's see. So player element is. I think I'm going to be doing wood first, and you know, we're going to see how it affects you and such. Actually put this on like a creative branch. Now one of the things we are actually going to be checking out also is actually I have to fix this later on. No. Let's go to the elements themselves. Indeed, element. Here we go. Actually not. Is it like a wood? Wood, here we go. Wood personality. So these are 150, 151. And let's see, 150. So basically these are the things that actually, you know, determine many things. Personality numbers. What sort of personality do you have? Who knows? But like this is the how in Final Fallacy everything is calculated. My personalities, I suppose, is sort of like I think that's actually changed over the years. I was very sort of, this is sort of like a friendly, sort of like a collaborative person in the youth. Now I'm being more dominant. I think, you know, in my games terms, I'm like a used to be wood, but now I'm like fire. It kind of sounds silly, but you know, that's how my game works indeed, because there has to be a way to actually determine what are the personalities, and I think dividing with under 5 major, you know, things actually is a very good way, because then we can determine different things, how they work. Now let's actually include here one thing which is very important. One thing is, of course, let's go back to the stat calculation indeed, and let's go to the number game. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, we are getting some stuff done. Of course, not too exciting for the average Joe, but of course you must see something here, I suppose. Let me know. Now let me actually put here, which is of course very important, a number sake. So party member chosen. I think I'm gonna be putting here. Let me actually see. So party member. Actually, because there's so many variables, I have to just actually search them. Selected, chosen. I think 57 is the one I currently use. Here we go, 57, and let's change this to 57 because it's a script language. I can put it in here like this. What is the player? Here we go, whatever I want it to be, and I think I'm going to actually put it like this. So it's going to be party member number 1. Oh boy, oh boy. And the next one, of course, is see what sort of element he has. So element, if it's wood, you know, we're going to be seeing what the answer from these different personalities is going to be. Indeed, hopefully enjoying the stream so far. I don't know how much sense it does make, but I suppose at least somewhat of something here. Now let's actually go back and get on with the work. If you have any suggestions on this, let me know, and if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer, because of course you can affect this gameplay creation as some have in the past, small and in big ways. Now let's see, so we have element wood, and basically it gets stronger from water. So I'm actually see water.
Just want to make it
I
clear,
don't understand.
I don't mean if you eat one type of food, you can get blue or green eyes.
Ah.
Depending on the vitamins and
Yeah, vitamins,
and
proteins,
iron
irons you get to make eyes look different. Oh boy, I don't really want to experiment that too much, because I think, you know, what eyes we have in the booth time, I suppose that works. I don't understand a lot, in fact. Yeah. If you talk about the vitamins, and I think I don't either. If you talk about this game, let me know if you have any questions. Now, basically, the idea is this. You meet a person, like in real life. Person has a different personality, how he functions. Every people function differently in their mind, and I want to mimic that with this game. Of course, there's many factors there, but I tell you, I see shadows affect colors and shapes too. I've heard something like that, but only for the shapes.
I've heard of something like that, but only for the shapes.
I don't really know too much of information on that. Now let me actually go to 554, which of course the elemental numbers we're going to be having, of course, for the reaction to a certain element, and of course personality. You know, you can't mix those. Now let me see. So basically we're going to be dividing number 2 if it's a element of water for the wood, because actually water people actually like wood much more. If as you can see, wood people are friendly, generosity, cooperation, idealism, empathy, agreeable, meek, childish, and sluggish. These are the attributes that are given for the wood personality. Are you a wood personality? Who knows? Of course, I don't personally believe in this, but I watched this in Wu Xing, I think, Xu, what was it again? You know, these sort of 5 elements, they believe in this sort of thing. So, I know it's interesting actually making this sort of reality fashion, indeed. Now, one of the things I'm going to be doing is also actually, this is going to be times 4. I think it actually has to be a big number, so times 5. It's going to be actually, you know, that like thing. And now we're going to be actually doing like 5 element, which actually multiplies the whole thing. So even though it's like a very stupid person, if it's like a very different personality, it might still not like you. That's the thing. That's what we need. Now, next is Earth. It actually gives another little bonus, but this time it's just 2 times smaller. Here we go. And we kind of have to change this to Earth element, indeed. And the last but not the least is the metal element. Is of course we're going to be multiplying this by 5. Oh boy, it's going to be a hard number. I tell you. Look at that. Now we have to have here multiple. Was it metal? Was it metal? Yes, it was. Very good. So the basic factor, my friends, is that these are the multipliers we have. These are the multipliers, and I think it's going to be actually. Let me see here. I'm actually going to be doing like this, because otherwise it won't work. It's mathematics. Otherwise, if I don't put the like number 1 in here for each one of them, it doesn't work with my calculation. It's kind of crappy, but you know, I have to do this sort of and I think it's actually very easy to build in this sort of fashion, indeed. You know, you have seen many different people with different personalities, like people here talk about eye color. You might have seen people with different sort of thinking other than yourself, and I think no game has really tried to explain it, to be honest, too much, to see how that could be gamified in an interesting way, because I tell you, I've actually learned many things from video games that I've done, like strategy and this sort of fashion. I think games can be that sort of things, and hopefully this game is something that actually teaches something about, you know, thinking about personalities. And probably many people won't actually look at this information, but I tell you, it's actually going to be interesting to see how many people are going to be playing with the charisma build. Because I tell you, when you're going to be playing with just by words, it's going to be quite something else compared to playing with any other style. Oh boy, that's going to be something different, I tell you. Now, let's go forward, and the thing is going to be actually, we're going to just leave it like this. It's good to leave it like this. I think this is the work we have done. This is basically that affects the numbers of the calculations. It, you know, divided by 5 if it's water. Basically the number, the smaller the number, the better. So that is how it works indeed. I'm not a mathematician person, but at least I can do some basic math. No, at least that's what I can do. Now, next thing is, of course, for fire. And do we have fire on here as a number? Indeed, fire personality is the next 151. Indeed, if you don't have an element, that's the thing. This doesn't calculate, but I tell you, every single character has an element in this game, whether they want it or not, and you can actually affect it in the beginning screen. It's actually going to affect on many things, and that's what I want to have as a trend in this very lovely video game that we have over here. Indeed, indeed. But look at those numbers. Do they talk much to you? I don't think too much, but I tell you, let's go now to water. Let's put water in here. Water. Oh, no, actually wood. I'm just like, my mind is not even working. So basically, in case you don't know, basically, we have this discussion system, different NPCs, different people. It's like talking to a person. If you like spaghetti, I try to explain you like spaghetti, but you have like different opinions of spaghetti. It's very hard to actually convince you, and this game is very much working at the same time, in the same way. If you know how to manipulate people, and actually, you know, not only manipulate, but just actually know people well, you can actually make the NPCs, you know, do certain things. And of course, NPCs are going to be trying to manipulate you as well. So it's not only one-way street. Indeed, it's going to be hard times for you if you think it's just like, hey, I'm a player, I can do anything. Nobody can stop me. But I tell you, you're going to be surprised quite a lot. Now, one of the things actually I noticed that is wrong here is actually nothing. Everything's fine, very good. So this is when you have fire element, player is fire. And it's like this. Look at that. Look at that. So those are the multipliers we have in the calculations. Now let's go to our next one. This is very helpful for me. I can post some things I can change if you eat these kind of things food. Nothing really dangerous, honestly. Just change it depending how you eat. That's really interesting to know. Let me know what those are, those magical things. Of course, in RPGs and video games, if you eat many things, you can actually heal yourself and do this sort of stuff. Of course, Fallacy is going to be a bit different for that fact, but I tell you, interested to see what that is. I'm actually very much studying on different sort of foods to see what sort of effects they do. Because it's a very big thing. Spinash, its richness of iron will make your eyes look younger and shine brighter. Well, that is spinash. What is spinash? Gonna be checking that later now. Gonna be now putting what is fire. Get stronger from fire is earth. So we're gonna be doing this on fire. Next one is going to be metal. Yes, indeed, metal. The next one is going to be water. Very easy. Very easy, but somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it.
Fish.
Here we go.
Consuming fish can increase your eye color strength, and depending on the consumption, this changes could be permanent.
I tell you, fishes actually are very, very healthy. You should have that. Organic honey, regular consumption honey would make your eyes lighter and brighter. Oh, that's cool to hear. Are you studying this sort of like a healthiness and this sort of... Actually put that in here. Yes, indeed, I want to have some information on that. Yes, of course, I want to actually get more healthy living and eating habits. Like my normal things I purchase from stores are like very unhealthy, most of the things here. So I want to actually get some healthiness from, because I tell you, it actually affects you. Whatever you think, you know, on your beliefs, it actually affects you what you eat quite a lot. I'll eat a lot of fish. Very good. Haven't eaten in some while. I should be though. Fish is good. Fish is good, and honey, boy. Honey is good. Honey is good.
Shadow the Parrot.
Honey, my friend, is very good.
I was interested once if it was possible to change eye color. Sadly, that isn't really possible naturally.
Would you like to change your eye color to something? I don't personally want to, because I tell you, some people are like wanting to perhaps change their looks and such in major ways. I personally, of course, I have like, you know, this sort of like a, as you can see, this sort of like a thing, like just genetic things on here. You know, if I could like go to surgery, I could remove them, but I think actually they're pretty lovely. I don't want to remove them. They're part of me. That's what we have. And we can't just be like, hey, if I get something like in a lottery of the world, you can just like, at least on my mind, it's kind of like you have to like keep on what cards you have. And I think like the deck we have got, some people of course had kind of a bad decks, but of course they in return they might have something else. Like I've seen these people that have no legs, but they can still do the most beautiful paintings there are. So there's like I think the game of life is actually very interesting in there.
But the eye color you have can get brighter or darker.
Oh no, I don't want to change eye color. I love brown eyes. You have brown eyes. I see. Very, 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 very neat indeed. Of course, you know, need to change them when you have them. That's the thing. So many people I want to change how they look, and that's not, I think, healthy, because the thing is, we are not like these sort of gods that you can just change everything on a whim, even though we have the science. Usually when we try to change things with science, things just get worse. That's the thing. That's the thing.
I don't want to change anything on my body, you accept how you are.
Indeed, I don't want to change anything on my body. Of course, you can, like, a healthier exercise and this sort of thing. It's not bad for you, but I tell you, it's very good. Like, the things don't, you don't need to change much. That's the thing. Only, like, the many things that only, like, get you healthy and this sort of natural ways. Natural is good. When you have something unnatural, then it's always kind of like, do you really want to have that sort of change for you? That's the thing, at least on my mind. Like, I personally, sort of, like, if you have, like, a healthiness, try to think about health, so many people label you as a hippie, but I tell you, I have to tell you, it's actually wiseness to think about if you eat fish and this sort of stuff, because not many people do, and then they later on in life have very bad health problems, and of course I don't want to have that. I find people who have changed their bodies quite stupid. They might risks, but it's dangerous. It's so dangerous, and you might not get what you want. It's like, you know, it might just like be like for a few moments it's like, yes, I've done the change, but now you like you have lost your like health because of the procedures that you actually took. So it actually might be a double-edged sword against you backwards, which is not good. You don't want to have that. Indeed, not at all. So what is that? Thing is, many people do that sort of change for they think it's good, but at the same time, it just not always helps. I tell you too much. I tell you that much. Now, Earth is going to be... Water is, of course, going to be weakened by Earth for some reason. I don't know why is that. I don't really know why is that. But the thing is, there's a lot of things that the Chinese do very weird ways. I think, actually, water is the greatest enemy for Earth in its erosion. But I suppose... they think about certain deserts where you like pour water and it's like this is how the Chinese think of this sort of ideas. It's very fascinating though, but I tell you, it's not very scientific. You know, some of the people say in China, like they have this sort of like a, if you eat like a claw of tiger, you get like the manliness or something like that. Connection issues? Luke Michael Jackson. I don't have connection issues. I think it's alright. I think it's a green here. Green, indeed. He died much plastic surgery, his skin turned white and his nose often fell off. It looked like monsters, I tell you. Even Putin himself has some plastic surgery on it. Like, he looked like a... Of course, a very terrifyingly looking on because of that, I tell you very much. People have that. Some people look like plastic dolls, I tell you. I'm not very happy for that fact, I tell you. I don't want to look like a plastic doll, to be honest. No. That's very expensive looking plastic doll. Yeah. Many people want to cling on the life they have. Oh, goddamn, I just made a mistake. Yes, I did mistake. Goddamn. So many people want to cling on the life that they have, but I tell you, like, it's a thing, you know, we have this life, and then I sometimes, you know, lose it, and hopefully things go better after that sort of fashion. Of course, no people all believe that sort of things, but, you know what, we didn't feel much before we were here, so I think it's not really something that if we would just go away, that's how it works. So, you know, that's the thing. We have to live our lives to the fullest that we want them to be, but of course in a responsible and good ways as well. We can't just be in this sort of, like, we are not the center of the universe. That's creepy. Some people look like that. Yes, indeed. Like they're like some people, some women do this sort of lips like a. They look like some kiss, like a. This like they have like the fish sort of like lips, and it's like oh god damn, why did you do this? You look like okay just a moment ago. What are you doing for yourself? But then again, you can't really stop people if they want to do that. That's the thing. PBSA! Hello there, my friend. How are you doing? Good to see you. Yes, indeed. Very lovely to see you. Portugal! We're going to be talking about some plastic surgeries. Everybody wants to have a plastic surgery. Oh, please, no. Fish lips, lol. I tell you, man, fish lips are awfully looking. I wouldn't even want to. No. It's like a. When it touches you, like. You don't want to be kissed by that sort of lips. No, sir. It's like. It's like a tornado or something when that happens. Now, thing is, how are you doing, PBSA? Hopefully well. Indeed so. Indeed so. Now, we are doing some calculations which are very important for our future. And why is that? Well, basically, depending on your personality, people, NPCs look at you differently. And this is a very major thing that we are doing here. Some people might look, hey, what are you even doing? That doesn't seem very interesting. But I tell you, you don't see behind the numbers. Actually, you do, because you're watching this stream currently, god damn it. So, you actually have some kind of leeway on here. Look at that. So, basically, now we're going to be putting here a place that is called Elements. Like that. Look at that. Oh boy, oh boy. Element.
These took me 1 hour to find some computer for a guy and giving a description on them.
Took 1 hour to find a computer for a guy and giving description for them. Oh, was that the work you were doing? God damn, that sounds kind of nasty. Yeah, but still, work is work. God damn, hopefully everything is going otherwise well. God damn, I sometimes work like that. But you know, it always depends on the client. Who's giving you the money? The money. That's why I hope I'm actually going to be making this game. And of course, I'm not going to be swimming in money, but I hope to be at least living by this. But it's still, of course, far away. I need to be finding the good people willing to be part of the final fallacy, the army to make it forward. And I tell you, it actually is not just about, you know, spreading it. It's actually about getting people to play this, because I tell you, people will be satisfied when they play this, depending, of course, on their playstyle. But I think it's going to be something different they haven't seen before. So I think it's going to be something else. Now, we have here elements, and the first one is wood. And some might think, like, what has the wood got to do with anything about the personalities? I think it's actually pretty a lot, because look at that. So basically, depending on your element, everyone has those, and basically they talk about, like, as you can see, social, butterfly, enthusiasm, creativity, aggression, strong impulses. That's what fire is. And depending on your personality, things change, things are different indeed, and that's what we need in this current world. Things that are different. Now, let's go to here for the calculations. Where will you work, PBSA? I think some kind of a computer-oriented stuff that he mentioned beforehand. I mean, of course, no. Yes, indeed. Now, I'm actually very much happy to get those city very soon. I want to get some, but because of the restrictions have actually gotten away, and we're going to be having some buffets in there. Buffet. So out of work, I read it. I'll help on Reddit. I give 5 computers to choose from and 5 budget, and I was free to because of things. I was 1 over, but still plays because I think it's worth it. Oh, shit, you're good. Giving 5 computers. God damn, it's the Christmas or something. You're giving some computers away. or I can actually read more properly. So from my work, Reddit, I gave him 5 computers. Actually, yeah, you're like recommending them computers, I suppose. Yes, indeed. Well, that makes sense, indeed. So now we have the calculations here. Let me actually put more here, because of course that is not all. Because Phi is only one of the personalities. We have 5 of them. Indeed. There's actually a lot of base work on the lore and such with this. It's not just like, hey, I want to have personalities in the game. Actually, there's more than that. How are you doing, people say otherwise? Hopefully you're interested to see where this whole thing leads, because I tell you it's going to be leading for the good things. I hope, of course, seeing how it affects the gameplay of discussion system and such. I've actually tested it out. I'm going to be showing you it that one day. But of course, that one day is still coming, because I want it to actually look presentable in a many big ways before I can just like start sharing it like a crazy man. Now let's go to the calculations. Now that's a kind of dedication to help someone. I tell you, our PBSA, very helpful indeed person. I tell you, I have to actually give you a thumbs up. I wouldn't perhaps do that. I'm not that helpful as you. God damn, I feel ashamed. Very, very good. Of course, you have to give props for people that do good stuff, and I think you're doing good stuff. I tell you, helping out people. I personally hate using Reddit though. It's like there are this priesthood in the Reddit, and like this big priest, and they decide your fate to the altar. They decide who is going to win, who is going to lose. And I don't like that. I think it should be like, hey, but I suppose communities are like priesthoods. You know, you have the high priest and of course the lower class priests. I suppose that's how it works. I still don't have contract.
Finish and got some cash from it. Now they will give a trial week for 2 more persons.
I still don't have a contract with the company. I did the trial week and now I finished and got some cash from it. So they are not going to hire you, my friend. That's very nasty. They should. You are very dedicated, at least they know on the looks of it. Very good on that. So, but they are not hiring you. That's very nasty. That's very nasty indeed. That's not good. That's not good actually. So we have metal, metal, and metal. But still, this shouldn't be metal. I think it's actually water. Yes, indeed. I think this is water. Water. Here we go. Look at that. That's water here for you. So we have different sort of elements, and now we're going to actually calculating on how they affect the whole thing. So basically, we're going to be having the calculations. Look at that. Look at that. NPC calculations. We have to have calculations like here. Let me actually put it like. We go put this on the 0 on this end. I tell you. But now let's go to the elements. What sort of personality do you have? Actually, have you found out it's not actually just like this mumbo jumbo to actually think what sort of personality types there are, because actually there are some correlations. Of course, people are individuals, unique soulful, but of course there are some distinct differences between types of people. Indeed. So I will only know it got the job for the last week of month, so I will try and find this case so I don't get picked, but I don't know, best something I had very little experience. I hate that, you know, the companies say like, you have to have the maximum experience of millions of years before actually, you know, getting hired. Of course, I know they want to get the best person, but I tell you, it's like, what do you expect? Everyone is like, if nobody gets a job if they have to have like 2 years of experience beforehand, who do you think is going to apply for the job? I don't get what's the big idea now. Thing is, the calculation is going to be like this. We have the answer like this. So we're going to be actually going to NPC calculations. I just forgot the number. So 88880. Indeed, 880 from the number game. Hunger Games, but number game. So we have numbers. And they're going to calculate each one like this. Indeed, look at this. So basically, depending on your number, it's going to be dividing things here. And it's going to be actually a multiply number. I'm actually doing multiply. And we are going to be finding 558. Look at this. 558. 558. 558. 0.58. Indeed, look at that. That is quite something. I don't like very much corporate structure because it's like so much slow moving, and it's like you have to beg like, oh please give me a job sort of fashion. It's like, you know, you have to be like this sort of. And in case job is about repairing hardware printers, it's very known. I had very little experience, but they give me also shot to see if they could fit there, but they also promised the others a trial week. Indeed, I hope you will keep working, Shadow. I mean, like a PBSA. I mean, you mean, but they're Shadow, of course. Now I dedicate. I think you mean PBSA. Anyways, indeed, hopefully you're going to be continuing your journey without that too much of a hassle on that. But I tell you, I understand how things are nowadays. The world is very nasty, to be honest. It's, of course, it has always been. There's always been a struggle, but I think struggle actually keeps getting the best side of us actually go forward. That's the thing. Best side of us actually goes forward if we strike hard and work hard and that sort of fashion. Oh, so actually, we have to look at that. We have Earth over here, which of course is one of the elements. We put that in metal element like that. Now it actually calculates every single one, if I remember right. I think it does. I have to still test, but let's now copy like this. Of course, I want to streamline this. I think this is how it is streamlined in the best possible ways. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Now, let's see, does it actually affect? So we're going to be actually doing this sort of machine testing event here. We're going to be actually like this. Let's put the character to be a bard that has this sort of banjo and now actually harp. And let's do just some simple choices. Fire, water, wood, that I suppose, metal, and earth. These are the things, and these are actually going to be kind of a slot machine to actually give you all the personalities without too much working on them. Of course, the game itself is not going to work on this. I tell you too much. Yes, indeed.
I will work for as long as I live.
I will work as long as I live. I'll tell you one thing, you know, working, depending on what sort of place you're working in. I tell you, I hate big corporate structures because I think it's like these gigantos that eat people in a sense, like they eat you, like, oh, you're just a small, like, little insect crawling in that. Of course, you know, some, if they pay well, I suppose it's good, but then I personally get my soul sucked out of me when I work in these places. So they change to pick me instead of the other job. Companies want the people are their experience, but also people that are adaptable, nice and trustworthy. That's what they do. But of course, they want to have people that always going to be dedicate their whole lives for the company. And I tell you, that time I think is going to be ending because people are now working on so many different places, so many different jobs, and so many different ways of working. Of course, there's always going to be dedicated people that work on different companies, but there are, of course, going to be the other ones as well that don't do that. Now, so we have water personality, earth personality. These can give you different personalities. Oh boy, let's see what can we find when we go to the personality lotto. Imagine you have like a slot machine you could actually get these sort of things out of. That would be quite something. And to pick up someone that will have little experience to one where one have of a mob simply because they couldn't adapt to the new work, simply because past working experience. So they can pick up someone that have little experience, one that have more, simply because they couldn't adapt. I suppose that is that. But you know, I suppose I don't run a company completely yet, so I don't really get the realities too much. I suppose I have still so much to learn about the greediness. I really hope you make a new Spyro game. They make. I think they will, I tell you. This Crash Bandicoot is going to be releasing very well, and I think Spyro is going to be the next one. That is Toys for Bob making them, and actually Spyro went very well. I hope they actually add Cinder and other characters there as well. I'm happy to see that the new generation is enjoying those games. That's what we need. That's what we need. And they made an excellent remaster, I tell you. Excellent work, of course. I don't like the music in the Spyro, but other ones I do like. I tell you. Very, very good job. Now, thing is, though, it's, of course, a big company. And nowadays, big companies only do remasters. I think we need sort of like something that is in spirit of Spyro games, like this sort of collectathon that is not possibly even like a Spyro, but it would be like something else, like original RP. I think we should actually try to, if we have like this game franchises that, you know, they want to have like, let's say we want to have this sort of game or this sort of game. Actually, let's do what like these other games did. There was this big Pokemon clone that was just released a few months ago, and actually it's doing quite well. I think, what was it called? Temtem, yes, if you know Temtem. You know, you could have that sort of fact, you know, similar, but of course a different franchise. Been just 3 days, feet my hurting a lot, simply because I'm not used to be food.
My feet are hurting a lot.
God damn, I can get you, man. It's not very cool. It's not very cool. Now, let me see. Well, I'm sorry to hear that is the case. Thing is, though, my friend asked the same time. I just noticed one of the things. I need to give the personality for the NPC itself. If I don't do that, well, it doesn't really matter what sort of calculations we have. Indeed. You're being standing out? Is it a computer job? Is it a standing job? Standing ovations and all that sort of things. Now, one of the things is going to be actually calculating what are the things here. And one of the things is that if we have, I'll actually do it like this. I can actually do a new sort of like thing in here. Personality road. Personality road. Personality earth. I think this game has actually a very interesting mix of different sort of culture fields on there. Indeed, wood, metal, and then of course water and fire. As usually it's not the normal combination, but you know, imagine that was the normal combination back in the day. Of course, other, you know, Western, they have like the 4 elements, but of course there were actually 5 elements in the original one. Indeed, 5 elements. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Now let me see. So we have wood. It actually calculates the wood if there's a wood personality in there. It calculates the. Let me actually see the fire personality. If fire personality is there, that's the thing. Fire. Fire. Reignite is not the best, if not the Spyro game. I don't like Temtem. It rips off Pokemon. I know, of course. I can understand. I don't like it either. There's some other reason, but I want to have some competition. I think Pokemon has gotten lazy with just food. And I don't like a few things in the Temtem franchise. I tell you, there's few things I don't like. One of the things is like too American feeling. Like it's like this sort of like it's like it tries to have like this Japanese thing, but at the same time it's like you can have this like I don't know. It doesn't feel like the feel on that, at least, is not very enticing for me. I can actually say they're actually very successful as a game, but not something I personally would like to play because of the monsters themselves are very bland. Indeed, you need some vital monster designs. I suppose, you know, something is happening in the land of America that, you know, they are not having that. I don't know. And of course, you cannot just say full America. There's a lot of good American games, good American companies. So I was very bad. That's not very good to say that. Actually, I tell you, it's like this sort of feeling. Well, I survive while fixing printer because the problem is hardware based. Sided down, very hard to do that. Same goes to computers. Hardware fix, a lot of machines need to be on foot. Yes. I suppose if you are just one position all the time, I tell you, it's not very nice. Of course, you have to change that. You know, but of course, you know, sometimes you cannot. I think actually sitting is actually much more dangerous than just standing. I tell you. Standing is actually much more healthier if it comes to that. So if you want to have health, I think standing is actually better than sitting, and that's why I'm doing not very doing good value here, because I'm sitting. In my home, I have this sitting desk, and I actually like the sitting desk much more than anything else. It actually is sort of like actual. Like, I feel much more healthy because, of course, the blood circulation is much better. Much better. That's what it is. So we have now metal and fire, wood, all of these. Now let me copy these like this. Put it from this, and I think it should be working. Of course, we might have some errors, but who knows? Who cares? Errors are part of life. We just like fear all the errors. Nothing good is gonna happen. I tell you. Nothing good. It's just going to be just like fearing my whole life, and I don't want to do that. Now, I think it's going to be doing that. We're actually going to be making this person as... my birthday passed May 5th, by the way. May 5th. That was some time ago. March, April, May. So that was some time ago, 2 months ago. How old are you now, can I ask? Well, you know, late congratulations. Yeah, a bit sad, you know, to say it afterwards, but, you know, at least never better than, you know, better later than never, I guess. That's how people say. Now, let's see how the calculations now work. If we have, like, of course, if this person is a wood, so we're going to be getting a wood personality. Let's see how the numbers work now. Like, I have this idea that the numbers will be like, oh, but we shall see. We shall see how it works. We shall see. So let's see. Go. So we have wood, I think. So we're going to be getting wood as well. So it shouldn't be too much of a different calculation here. Let's see. Okay, it actually was it wood or earth or what was it again?
Mr. George Calzin 2 and Kirby.
As a question, I saw the internet that Finland, when someone completes university, they can pick to wear a top hat and sword. Yes, we get a sword, indeed, and we have actually sword fights. Well, not really, but but yeah, actually, that's very true. That's very true. Very true assessment, I tell you. Swords, indeed, that's what we have, and you can actually wear that and such. Very, very cool. That's what it has. That's what it is. Now, actually going to be checking out the numbers here and seeing how each different thing works afterwards. Like this, when I press it, going to be looking at what is the number here where we start from. Yes, actually, very true, PBSA. You get a sword. Can't you imagine that? A sword. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be wearing sword for a long time. I don't know how this thing is going to go, because we have some big crisis here. And hopefully we're going to be surviving from that, but it's not normalcy. I tell you, one of the things I have to tell you, my friends, is like, if we think that we can actually return to the normal times, I don't want to just discourage people, but I tell you, it's not going to be going to normalcy. And that's why we have to really be like this sort of like active and this sort of like very... working hard. That's why I'm doing this game. I don't want to just sit here. I want to work hard on our small little things that we do. That's amazing. It's unique, special than normal. Indeed, indeed. It's very special indeed.
Shadow the Parrot.
Got to go now. Do some drawing practice. Take care, everyone. Hey, good luck for the drawing practice. Hope you enjoyed your time here with eluukkanen. And we're going to be continuing our journeys, of course, afterwards. And hopefully we're going to be seeing you later there as well. So now we're going to be still finishing this, and I think I'm going to be actually going to sleep as well. It's over midnight here. Oh boy, midnight is gone already. God damn, time goes fast. We have 7 people watching. That's quite something. I'm really enjoying your time here. How old are you? 23 is the year I have. 1997. Yes, I'm a... Some people say, God damn, you're young. And some people say, God damn, you're goddamn old person. But who knows? Depends, of course, how old are you. You might be just the best English speaker in Finland. Arol Elan, I'm honored. Thank you very much for that. That is you're too kind, Arol Elal. I tell you, I have learned a lot of new lessons when just speaking with English-speaking people like you here in Finland, in stream, I mean. And I tell you, it's a pleasure to be understood in different languages than your own. Of course, suomen kieli on kaunista. Finnish language is beautiful, but unfortunately, it's not understood by many. I don't know. I saw you on the stream before. It's a pleasure to see you. Pleasure to see you. Whatever the case. Now, let me see what the number game here is. So 000 for some reason, because we don't have the element. Oh, we have to have the element. The thing. So we're going to be taking wood. For some reason, it's kind of slowing down here. For some reason, I don't know how to be checking that later on. It shouldn't be slowing down. God damn, it shouldn't. Because I tell you, this game is made by eluukkanen. And eluukkanen is not happy for that. So basically, as you can see, we have 50120. And what does that mean? So wood. There's some other, I think, information here. We shall see how that will work. But I don't know, have you been on eluukkanen channel before? It's a pleasure to have you. You know, we have people from, of course, France, from Norway. Shadow the Parrot was just from Norway. We have George Knows from America Land. And, of course, we have PBSA from Portugal. Scandinavian people learn to speak English very young. That's what we do. I think it's actually very good. But at the same time, we should, I think, have more kind of focus on our language, because if we just focus too much on the English-speaking world, we're going to be losing our uniqueness of Finnish. I think I'm going to be actually, when I do more games and such, I'm going to be opening more of the Finnish opportunities. Imagine seeing like an anime just spoken in Finnish language. That would be cool. But now, that's just a random thought on there.
Suomi on kaunis smiling.
Suomi on kaunis. I'm Monibi. What do you do? Moniabe.
I am a winking smiley.
What is Moniabe? I'm just like, sorry if I don't understand that, but I don't know what is Moniabe. Moniabe. Suomi on kaunis, indeed. Suomi is the best country. Of course, there's some good countries as well, but you can't say that Suomi is not the best. I tell you, it's just like, forget it. Suomi has the best sort of like nature. Actually saw some animals just 2 moments ago, and I tell you, for nature, it's very beautiful. Nothing like that in the world. Of course, Canada tries to be something like that. They try to be, but of course, Canada, you don't have this Finnish sisu. You just don't have that. Now, I think the video stopped to give image, but I still sound working, isn't buffering. Oh, still? I think we have some kind of problem here, issue. That's very weird. We have a connection issue, it seems. I don't know why is that. We have a connection issue. I think I have to actually stop the stream if that's the case. Hopefully I'm actually able to talk with you around era later on, but I don't know. Currently we have some kind of a problem issues on here. I think it's because of my connection or something. I don't know. Before my computer crashes, I'm actually going to be